Good morning, I guess, or afternoon or evening, whenever you're listening. My name is Michelle Beck. This is Breast Friends Cancer Support Network, and thanks for joining us today. I am a two-time 10-year survivor of breast cancer. I work at Breast Friends of Oregon, and when I have time, which isn't very often, you can find me on social media or my blog at I Never Liked Pink. So today, my guest, I'm super excited. She's a fabulous, fabulous woman. Her name is Catrina Marcell. She is a BRCA1 positive, triple negative breast cancer survivor, which that's a lot right there wrapped up into that sentence. But she was diagnosed at age 37, having no knowledge that this mutation ran in her family. And instead of being just defeated and worn down by this, she actually ran with it and has gone through her treatment by using her faith in all of the things that we're going to talk about today. And it's super important to her. And when I stalked her and then found her on social media, and I was like, okay, I need to talk to this woman because she's got some good knowledge, which I don't know a lot about. So we are going to get into all that today. So Catrina, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Well, wonderful. Thank you. And so to tell us a little bit about yourself, the non-cancer stuff.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Catrina Marcell. So non-cancer, I'm a pretty bubbly, spunky person. I love friends. I love family. I love just spending time with everyone. My hobbies are really, I'm a certified personal trainer. So I love the gym, reading, anything, from being outside in nature, being one with myself, caring for myself, and anything to that manner of just being a flower, because that's what I like to think of myself as life of a flower. So that is just who I am, and love connecting with people and sharing life with people, because life is so short, and happiness, smiling, and love is a gift that I like to share with others.
Well, you're definitely doing that. And listeners out there, you can find her on Instagram. I'm going to find it right here at Fighter N Faith. So you
Yes.
definitely need to follow her because she has a lot of positivity and really talking about just spreading happiness and joy despite what is going on in your life. So at age 37, which I believe was 2 years ago for you, is that right?
Last year.
Oh, it
Well,
was
it'll be
last
two
year. Okay.
years. My birthday's October 1st. So I
Okay.
will be 39 coming up.
Okay. The best is yet to come. I just turned 51 and I still feel pretty damn good.
Good, good. You look good. You sound good, girl. We are good. I'm
It's
excited.
age is just a number and it's
It
really
is.
all about attitude.
It truly is. It truly is. I go out with family and friends, and I'm always the one that gets carded. Always. And they're like, when they look at my ID, they're like, I really thought you were 26 or 28. Well, I appreciate the gesture and the
Mm-hmm.
kindness, but no, I take my 30s very seriously. If the 37 is the new 26, I'll take it.
Perfect. So now tell us about how you ended up in this spot in your life where you've become a breast cancer advocate and really talking about how and what has come into your life in so much more full bloom. We're talking about the
Right.
flower because of your cancer. So how were you diagnosed and what did you go through?
Absolutely. So I was diagnosed June the 15th of 2021. So my story is kind of a little different from most that I've heard or shared. So I received the second COVID vaccination in April. And probably about 4 to 6 days later, my lymph nodes under my arm had swollen and started becoming painful. But for me, that was normal
Well,
for
that's
me.
that's what they've said was one of the
Yeah,
side effects of the vaccinations. Like be
exactly.
cognizant because your lymph nodes may swell.
Thank
And
you.
so the
Exactly.
rest of us are like, okay, but
Yep.
it was obviously different for you.
It was. So, because they were saying, if it happens, it's a positive reaction. 6 to 8 weeks, it should go away. So that's what I ran with. And then, like week 12, I noticed it was still there. And I was like, something's the matter. But I was like, well, maybe I'm catching a cold, because that's always been nature for me too. That's how I know if I'm getting sick, right? And so I told my family, and I was like, I'm just going to go to my family doctor just in case, even though, Michelle, I had just seen her in January of 2021 and September for insurance reasons. And we did all these self-exams and things and nothing was there. And so I went to her and she was like, well, let's just do it again. And I was like, okay, sure. Wasn't thinking. We were talking as we always do. We have good rapport. And she just stopped talking. And I was like, Dr.
Hello.
A, is everything okay? And she grabbed my left hand and she placed it on my breast. And she said, have you ever felt this? And I said, no. And she pulled me up, and I never had a mammogram or anything because, it was, you're too young at 37. Right. So I was like, she pulled me up and I looked at her and I said, are you concerned? And she looked at me and she said, yes, because of your lymph nodes. She was like, that's my concern. So let's get you a mammogram. Got a mammogram, got an ultrasound, got a biopsy, all within a week's time. And it came back that I was stage 3B triple negative breast cancer.
And for those of you listeners who don't know out there, triple negative is typically more aggressive. It is hitting women younger and younger and later stage. And you were very proactive, which was wonderful. But for many women who were diagnosed during the pandemic, they weren't either going in for their screenings or did not have good access to healthcare. So you are incredibly fortunate that you were noticing your body, which is so important.
Absolutely. And that's what I try to share with everyone that I speak with. Know your body. If you don't know your body, learn your body. Pay attention to the small signs, because the small signs can be a lifesaver, especially for me, in that situation. I'm thinking I'm okay because I've experienced it before, but when it just never went away. And I was a person, Michelle, I did not do self-exams. I fought myself.
I never did either. Nope.
I did not do it. I didn't. And so, when she took my hand and I was like, what is this? And it was just that almond shaped. And, I was like, it felt small to me, but with going through my test and they said, I was thinking maybe I was just stage, 1C or 2 or something, but, not knowing that when it travels to your lymph nodes that it means a further along, but just to be that type of stage. And I had just seen her 4 months prior.
Yes.
I was shocked.
And so I know you went through chemo because I've seen your beautiful bald photos, man. You have a gorgeous head. You could pull that off a lot better than some women, let me tell you. But honestly, anyone who goes through this is stunning because they are fighting for their life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And my nickname since I've been little has always been Peanut. So when I did shave my head, everybody said, see, told you your name was Peanut. Look at the head. I was like, see, really, that's what we're going with. But yes, women when we have to shave our heads, we're still just as beautiful. And that's the confidence I really try to share and push out. Like I wear wigs, my hair's growing back. It's at that ugly color phase right now. I'm not used to, but
does that mean you have a little bit of gray in your hair now?
A little. Oh my gosh, Michelle. I'm like, what is this? This is truly salt and pepper. Okay. This is truly salt and pepper.
Well, and that's, I think one thing which I'm very jealous of is normally how non-cancer wise, how regular and accepted wigs are in the Black community.
Yes.
I mean, that is one thing that white women do not have the luxury of, because if we put them on, they're like, oh, she's got a bad wig on, where you're like, I am rocking different hairstyles all the time. Yeah. So I'm
alter ego, different every day. I promise you.
I'm pretty jealous about that.
You know what? It's actually, Michelle, I believe that a lot of white women are able to utilize even the wigs that Black women do wear. I really think that because the lace and the different textures of resources that how wigs are now made, where they are to look natural. I think that far as with skin tone, it blends in. So I really think that a lot of women should look at, the resources that Black women use when it comes to wigs. So I think you could pull this one off great. Well, if you want to have a dark color hair.
Where I did dark red one time and I loved it, but it grew out too fast. I was like, I could not do it. But I get too hot, man. I'd be like, I am way too hot.
I don't, trust me, because I'll do this in a minute. Like if it's outside and I'm catching a hot flash, I'll pull it off in public. Do not care. My girlfriends are like, Katrina, what? It's hot. You don't
Mhm.
understand. Like, I don't care. I'm having a hot flash.
And so I'm guessing stage 3B, you also had a mastectomy.
I
Okay.
did have a mastectomy, and I also had 16 lymph nodes removed
Oh, that's a lot.
as well.
Hmm.
Yes,
So
it
you need to be
was.
always on the lookout for lymphedema and dealing with just
Absolutely.
the whole host of issues that come with
The
all these
whole thing.
wonderful things.
Exactly. Like, I put on a compression sleeve now, if I'm doing something, like even if I'm helping my fiance in the yard or anything, or travel, especially with the
Hmm.
altitude, compressing now my whole body. It's not just really my arm, right? It's the legs too, and the ankles. I never thought I would be there at the age of 38 years old.
Well, but the alternative sucks because you are here, and that's what we're thankful for. So, how is your health
Amen.
right now?
I am doing very well. I have my days. I won't sugarcoat. I have my days, right? Ups and downs, but it's just really the joint pains that get me.
Yes.
However, I've been doing more yoga, more walks with nature. So I've been feeling really good for the past 2 weeks, knock on wood, thank God.
Hmm.
I'm doing really good. So right now I'm just waiting. I should be having my reconstruction surgery in November.
That's exciting. And it's such a wonderful feeling because you feel like that's the final step in the process.
Yes. Yes.
And expanders are a nightmare. It's like having
Gosh.
baseballs on your chest. Uh-huh.
They hurt. They hurt. Now I can't find comfortable ways to sleep. And it's like I'm only comfortable sitting in my office chair at this point. It's just
Hmm.
like I'm ready for them to go. Like they've outworn their welcome. It's been since
Hmm.
January. It's
That's
time to go.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So let's talk about why we're really here today.
Sure.
How faith got you through your journey. So what is
It did.
faith to you?
Wow. Faith to me is everything. Faith to me is about trusting and relying on a source, right? I know everyone doesn't, believe, have a certain belief in Christianity or certain religions. So I always try to be mindful and respectful for others. But for me, it's relying on Jesus Christ. I've brought up in church, and I've been in church my entire life, and just having that confidence to know that he has me, right? I am one of his children. I am one of his own. I am the heir of a king. So he had my back, and he will guide me through any life circumstance. And so keeping my faith in him and trusting, which it can be hard. It's not easy, right? But keeping and knowing who he is and knowing that relationship I have with him is my faith, is what faith meant to me.
Now, when you were first diagnosed, so you said you were brought up in church. This has been a part of your life forever.
Mhm.
Did you have doubts and anger? And did
I
you?
didn't.
Okay.
I didn't, and I'll share why. Probably when I turned 30, I had shared with my mom at 30, between 37 and 39 age, something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. I've already
Mm.
seen it. It's already been presented to me in my dreams. And I told her something's going to happen. She shared with me, Trina, don't say that. I said, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I said, but something's going to happen. So when I got diagnosed, the first thought to me was, I already knew it. I knew it was coming. It was shown to me. God revealed it to me years before it happened. And then when I got diagnosed, I called my mom, me and my fiance, and the conversation, I said, remember when I shared with you something was going to happen? And she said, yeah, I do actually. She was like, but I never thought it would be this. And I said, me either. I said, but you know what? God has me. I will be just fine. I said, it's a reason I'm going through this. And I said, I'm going to keep trusting him. I'll be fine. And she said, okay, I trust you. I believe what you say. She's like, I'm going to say my prayers, and we're going to walk through this together. And I said, absolutely.
So do you feel like, so you had the, let's say, premonition, or just
Right.
feeling that this was going to happen, and
Mhm.
when it did, and you didn't lose faith and you didn't get angry, you're like, he's got me. Do you feel like there was a plan for you to become the person that you are now in terms of being an advocate and
Yes,
supporting other women and sharing your faith?
absolutely. I do. I do. At the time, Michelle, I actually was preparing to go to law school. I had just passed the LSAT in May. I was about to hit the law school in August because I was looking for a different path, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had been in project consulting with top 50 Fortune companies, and I was just like, I want to do something different. And I wanted to go into community law because I wanted to be involved in the community. So when I was diagnosed, I was like, huh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my niche. This is what I'm supposed to be talking about. Because I was going to community law, but I was like, what am I going to talk about when I do that? Like, right? Like, what do I say? Like, who's going to be my audience?
Mm-hmm.
And when I got diagnosed, I was like, this was it. This was my next phase that I'm supposed to do. It wasn't law school. It's still involving me in the community. It just wasn't law school at the time. I still may go, but
Mm-hmm.
right now it's just advocacy and is really important to me about breast cancer.
Same. And even though I do have a family history, my grandmother passed from metastatic cancer.
Okay.
It was always in the back of my mind, but I
Yeah.
never thought that one day I would be hosting a podcast and writing a
Mm-hmm.
book. And I want to be on stage. I
Me too.
really like, oh my gosh, we should do a tour. I
We
swear all
should.
of my fabulous guests who've been
Let's
on,
go.
they
Mhm.
I want to be on stage. Like I want to be like, Glennon Doyle and Lovey when they go out on tour together and like just
Yes,
share and just
absolutely.
sharing perspectives and hope and inspiration, because so
Absolutely.
many women do not have the
They don't.
let's just say faith that you do, that they're going to be
Right.
okay. And
Absolutely.
yes, sometimes everyone is not okay, but
Right.
being strong and positive and spreading that happiness and awareness, it's so important.
It is. It is that because you nailed it. Hope. You take that small word for granted at times, right? But hope is really what people are needing. And I think that that would help a lot of women. Not saying that women with breast cancer don't fight, but I think it would drive that extra strength that they could find deep down in themselves to fight a little harder.
Definitely. And I think a lot of times women are afraid to hope
Yep,
because cancer has such the negative connotation in our society, because it can kill people, but
it can.
so many times, especially in breast cancer, it doesn't.
It
And
doesn't. Right.
it's treatable. You can live with it. And even if you're diagnosed metastatic, more and more women are living longer, healthier
Yes.
lives. And I
Yep.
think just sharing all that information and how to get through survivorship is something that we can definitely do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's really to another way of what faith is. It gives you things to hope in that are unseen, that you have to believe and know that it can happen and it will happen. You have to put it out there, right? You have to do your part too. And speaking to God or the universe or whomever that is your aura, definitely hope is there. It's just sometimes being unseen is where that drives the faith a little harder.
Got it. So we're going to talk about more about how you practice your faith in your daily life when we come back from a short break. So listeners, remember, if you need our services, please go to breastfriends.org and check out patient programs to see what we can do for you. If you'd like to donate to help Breast Friends continue on its mission to ensure that women do not go through cancer alone, you can do that on our website. There's a big donate button, or text BF Radio to 41444. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Michelle Beck. My guest is Catrina Crutcher, diagnosed BRCA1 triple negative at age 37 last year. And we've been talking about how her faith has really got her through her journey with a positive attitude and knowing that she was going to be okay. So, Catrina, what does faith consist of in your daily life? Is it something that's always a part of you? Do you have specific practices? How does that look?
Yeah, so for me, it is daily things. So it involves morning prayer, it involves, meditation, daily scripture reading, taking my nature walks and being one with God. and what he grows and builds for us. It also involved me just releasing any fears to him, whatever that could be. Recently for me, it's been that fear of a reoccurrence. So, just releasing that to him, staying connected to my friends and family, and making sure I take that time for me. Right. Take away that time, meaning step away from social media. Sometimes I do step away from the news because it could be so much, right, that we're all experiencing and seeing in life today, not just health wise, but just, so much more. It involves me dancing every day and smiling and laughing at something. I don't care if it's not funny, I'm going to laugh anyways, and cooking yummy treats. I like to cook, so cooking yummy treats and things like that, and being a part of my support group and volunteering. I tithe in different ways. A lot of people, when you grow in church, they think tithing is just money or monetary, but for me, tithing is my time, talking to others, listening to others, and volunteering in the community as much as I can. So that's what I do.
Now, you mentioned releasing the fear, and that is something that so many of us are not able to do. I definitely believe in. I was not brought up going to church.
Okay.
My mom went to Catholic school when she was young, and literally remembers being chased by the nuns down the stairs.
Oh no.
And it's not that we were anti-religious; it just wasn't a part of our growing up. And I definitely believe there is something out there looking out for me. I've just never said it is a, whether it's Buddha or a Christian God or all of the things. There's definitely something else out there that really is looking out. And I think that's when you really sit and think about it, it does allow you to release those fears. Like there is something that is looking out for me and creating a plan.
Yes.
Because do I wish that I hadn't gone through cancer? 100%.
100%.
But the things it has brought into my life, and it's completely reshaped my career, given me a new best friends and a purpose. And, because I've always wanted to do more in terms of community involvement and service. And now it's like, oh, I have found what I'm supposed to do.
Yep. Agree. Because it's just like, I don't feel that any of us have come this far by ourselves, right? Because I feel that our family and our friends are there with us, but they don't know and can't feel what we're going through.
Exactly.
Right. So when it comes from my faith, I truly, that's why I know and believe that it's God, because who else was going to bring me through this? My friends can hold my hand and my family can hold my hand and hug me, but that's not going to take away the cancer, right? It wasn't going to take it away. It wasn't going to take away the feeling I have. It just really was my faith that took it away. The writing it down, making sure I journal, like even if I couldn't speak what I wanted to say, writing it down, because I believed that God was looking over my shoulder and knew what I wanted to say anyways. But I just had to make sure that I showed that, hey, I need you, right? I can't just expect God to do all the work, because it's not how it works, right? I have to do my part too. And so that's where I believed in my faith, that, staying positive, worshiping, meditating, listening to music if I couldn't say something. We all had our quiet days, right? When we're going through breast cancer, it's like you don't always know what to say, or you don't want to say it. Like when I hear people, say to me, wow, you're BRCA1, and it's like, dang, I am. It's just like, I got, I have to keep, writing that down and like encircling, because it's like, it happened and I'm not over that part. I can say I'm over the treatment part, but knowing that gene mutation is there, that is still sticking to me like glue. Okay. I haven't gotten over that part yet. So that's where that release that I have to do every day and, say, okay, I'm fine, but I still can't get over that.
It's really hard. If you are comfortable answering, has your family been tested? Your mom or your sister, sisters, if you have sisters? Okay.
So my mom was tested, she was negative.
Okay.
So my little sister is BRCA positive as well.
So
So
sorry.
she's 30.
Mm-hmm.
So she is currently doing the follow-ups with her doctors, and they're watching
Mm-hmm.
her every 90 days. So she is doing good. But, just that mental, pre-buy report for her, like,
Yes.
should she do the surgery? She's kind of weighing that out right now, which is
Mm-hmm.
a lot, right? Like, really, do I just lose all of my womanhood just
Yes.
for a 50-50 chance,
Mm-hmm.
but so she's definitely dealing with it. But she is like me, she's really my twin, even though we're 8 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody thinks we're twins, but she's been my rock, and she keeps her faith number one as well. Like, she's grown since she's learned she had the mutation
Mm-hmm.
in her faith, and it's so beautiful because she helps me. So, but yeah, my family, my aunts have gotten tested, my mom, and I was happy that everyone came back negative.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
I'm glad.
unfortunately, I have heard of many cases where it does come down from your father's side of the family. You
Yes,
you always think it's the mother, but it can be
true.
anywhere.
It can.
Damn
And
it.
to be honest, Michelle, I never knew about it until my doctor just randomly said, I'm going to do this test. And I'm like, okay.
Well,
But he
because
was like,
if you don't have if people have not been diagnosed in your family, it's not
absolutely.
something that comes up. And why would you think about it?
Thank you.
It's
Thank
it's
you.
not on your radar, especially in your 20s and 30s. Like, I'm not getting breast cancer. What are you talking about?
Right.
And the fact that I have a genetic mutation, I don't think so.
Right. It was just like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
okay. He's like 5% positive, 95% negative. And I was like, oh, I'm being that 95%. I'm not worried about it until that letter came in the mail and that said positive. And I was like, really? This has to be a mistake.
Yeah,
It has to be
let's
a
send this
mistake.
back. I do not agree.
Yes.
Now,
Right.
you had mentioned earlier that you try to stay off of social media, but your social media handle and what you post on now post cancer is Fighter in Faith. So tell us about
Correct.
how that came about and why you decided to essentially go public.
Yeah. So I was just randomly sitting. It was right before I took my first treatment. And I was like, I can't be quiet about this. I talk about everything else in my life, right? So why be quiet about the most unexpected thing that has happened to me? So before I went public, I was just like, how am I going to do this? Right? Because at the time, my name was CMC Fit. And so I was like, I have to change that has to change. So,
Because you're a personal trainer, that was
yes,
we find things that we identify to present
absolutely.
ourselves to the world on social media. But I was like,
Right.
but you had to be like, things are a changing.
It's changing, right? It's nothing about to be fit. I promise you that. So I was sitting there and just thinking about my overall life up until the point of being diagnosed. And so I was born premature. I was born and I weighed 2 pounds and an ounce. My mom got sick. And so she had me early. And so my mom always shares with me that, when I was in an incubator, she didn't think I would make it. And she was like, but you were fighting, you fight. She always tells me the story on my birthday. She's like, you were fighting, you fought, you looked at me with your eyes, you would smile. And that's how I knew you would be okay. And I was like, So my mom always called me a fighter. So I said, okay. And I was like, in my faith, it's very important to me. So I was like, fighter with faith. That's what it's going to be. And so I put that as my name. And then I was like, okay, now how am I going to really put this out there about me? Right? How am I going to show my audience, my friends, my family who follow me? So I just put it out there with my smile and be like, hey, I'm going to make it through it. Not concerned, because my faith is number one. And I am that fighter. I've been a fighter all my life. So it's not going to change now. So I decided to go with fighter with faith.
Well, a lot of women, or let's say not all women identify with the fighter during breast
Yes.
cancer. I was one of them that did, because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to do everything I can to get the
Yep.
cancer out of my body. And it is a fight. It's not like it's
Yep.
easy. It's not like we just go and like, oh, get the cancer out, we're gonna be fine.
Right.
You know, there's a
Right.
lot of crap that goes into it.
So much. It's so much, right? We're fighting our bodies to get up in the morning. We're fighting our bodies to eat, right? We're fighting our bodies to just have the strength to look at this medicine that's going in this IV through our port, through our veins. We are fighting it, and it's a constant fight, right? And it's just, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe, or I can't even try to fathom if I didn't fight through it, right? And fight with all I had, not just my faith, but myself, right? Pushing and talking to my body and saying, no, we're not doing this today. We're going to fight through this, right? Because I felt that I've come through so much in my life, not health wise, because I've always been considered healthy, right? And I thought I always did the things to remain healthy. But it's just like fight. I've had to fight in my career. I've had to fight through school. I've had to fight friends and family, with disagreements or things. So I think we've all had to fight somewhere in our life, so I think the biggest fighter came out during breast cancer.
Well, that's when you needed it the most. And
Yeah.
how do you feel like when you came out with that, like fighter in faith, and put it out there on social media? What kind of response do you get from friends and family, or even people or women that you don't know who are following
Sure.
your journey?
It has grown so much. I can share, Michelle, when I had my page, I didn't have that many followers. I mean, I still don't have a lot, but at the time, I think I maybe had 300 followers. Now I'm close to 9. And, I get a lot of people that send me messages. They send me scriptures. They say, faith is the only way I know. Like, they agree with me. Like, I got a lot of communication and encouragement out of it. And I was like, wow. Because, a lot of people don't talk about faith or,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, so was I nervous to do it? No, that's just me. We all have our
Yep.
prerogative, right? But the responses was amazing, right? And I was thrilled. I was like, wow, okay, so I'm doing right. I'm doing what I
Mm-hmm.
should be doing, right? So I never really questioned myself, but that gave me that extra in life to say, yep, this is what I'm doing. This is what's next.
It's so easy to be open about what you're passionate about and what is
Yes.
so important to you. You mentioned scriptures. Do you, and daily reading?
Mhm.
Okay, have you read the whole Bible?
I have not,
Okay,
but
because
I do want to do it.
people who say that, I'm always like, how? That is a lot of words.
I haven't. I think my mama maybe has, but I
Oh,
haven't.
good on you, Mama. Do you have a favorite scripture that really just sings to you about what you've been through?
Yes. So for me, because we're talking about faith, of course, Hebrews 11:1 talks about having confidence and belief in faith, no matter what the Lord is working in you. So keep that hope for the unseen and know what will happen. So Hebrews 11:1 is mine.
I like that. For me, as we talked, there is something out there watching over me, but I find a
Sure.
lot of strength and inspiration in music. And
Yes.
Pink, the artist, is my girl. Like, I've
Yes.
I've told
Love
my
Pink.
husband I would run off and marry her. He's like, well, you don't really like women. I'm like, I'd take her. But she has a song and it's called Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. And
Hmm.
in it, it's the whole thing sings to me. And basically the line, there's not oh god, now I have cancer brain and I can't remember it, but it's basically is, you can't shut my mouth,
Right.
because there's nothing in this world that's going to make me stop talking about being an advocate and trying to help other women, because that's where I have been placed in my life, and that is
Absolutely.
where God has placed you to
Yes.
share
Yes.
how you've gotten through it with him by your side. And of course it makes
Absolutely.
me think of the poem where the footsteps in the sand, which
Yes.
even me, the non-religious person, knows that. And it's, why at this time was there only one set of footprints? It's because I carried
Right.
you.
Exactly.
And I mean, I just gave
Exactly.
myself chills, and it's,
You gave
that's
me
some
chills. I
but
didn't
that's
think
something
about
we,
that.
we, even us non super church people, we know about,
Exactly.
because it's
Yep.
such an important thing to
It
have
is.
that faith. And like you said, your friends and your family are there and they're holding you and supporting you, but God is inside you.
Yeah, absolutely. That is correct. That is so true. Yes. But oh, now you're gonna make me go because I remember I had a calendar with the footprints. And
Mhm.
I think I need to go find that calendar because I completely agree with you. It's him carrying us always. And that's every day, right?
Mhm.
Even when we're thinking, like, even if you get the worst phone call, like I said, my fear is reoccurrence. Even if I get that call, I know he's going to continue to carry me. And
Mhm.
and so for that, I remain humble and I keep my faith stronger and stronger every day.
Perfect. We do need to take another quick break. So, listeners, please stay with us. If you would like to nominate yourself to be a guest or reach out to me, you can email me at michellebeck@breastfriends.org. I would love to hear from you. So, stay with us. We'll be back in a minute. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Michelle Beck. My guest is Catrina Crutcher, triple negative survivor, BRCA1 warrior. And we are here today talking about her journey with faith and how that has really got her through and beyond her cancer. So, Catrina, for those people who don't have a strong system of faith and are just kind of searching, how would you direct them to find that faith to help them get through?
So I would send others in the direction of just start journaling, start writing down what you're thinking, right? Write down what you want, write down what you need, right? And I feel that putting it out there is the most important, when it comes to faith or anything in the world, really. And find something motivational to read every day. Find an affirmation, write many affirmations, right? I have the I Am app. And
Mhm.
so on there, you can put what you're needing. And I love the one that always pops up that I'm a fighter. And I'm like, you're right. And it's like, I'm like, that's perfect. Or I have the strength, or I can gain the strength. And I think that's really just remaining positive as well. And, just put it out there with trust and huge beliefs and believe that it'll happen, right? Whatever you spit into the universe, it can happen, right? But you have to be vocal about it. So that would be how I would ask someone if they needed to know how to get there. Definitely do that and know yourself, know what you're needing. Be intentional with what you're putting out there.
And if you look around, and not just cancer related, so many people who go through trauma or who are in recovery from addictions
Mhm.
or just huge life circumstances, they do find God
They do.
because
Yeah,
they realize there is a higher power out there that's getting them through each day. And
absolutely.
identifying with that and welcoming it into their lives can really make a huge difference.
Absolutely. You nailed it. Welcoming it. It's not bad. It's not like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't do this. Welcome it. It really can bring you so much joy and hope. And you'll get those goosebumps. But that's a good thing, right?
Mhm.
It's in you. It's walking with you. That to me, when I get goosebumps from like what you shared about the footprints and things like that, it's like he's walking in us. He walks with us daily. Even if we're down and out, he's there, right? And I know, and just having that flutter in your heart and soul, it's amazing. Like it's just so there. It just that, and that just makes me smile even more, right?
Mhm.
That just makes me laugh even more because I know it. I'm gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
Your heart is full because you know that he is there with you.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
we've talked about some of the challenges in your journey in terms of what you've
Mhm.
gone through with the the BRCA1 and just, I mean, the mastectomy and chemo, no joke. But what are the blessings that you have taken out of what you've been through in the last year and a half?
Absolutely. Blessings I've taken out of it is the no from my sister. I'm glad that she knows, about her. I'm glad she knows that she has the same gene mutation as I. That's the biggest blessing that I've taken from this. If I had to be that one soldier that had to show my family something, I'm proud to be that soldier if I had to be the one. And I truly feel that God picked me to be that one for my family, to get everybody to get their health together, to get their minds together, to start living right, right? To stop eating unhealthy, to stop, doing things they shouldn't be doing. Like, I really felt that I was that vessel. And I take that as the biggest blessing, and I'll do it over and over again if it has to be me.
So you have a really important full-time job now.
I do. I really do. They call me for everything now. They call me for everything. They called me before, but now it's the phone calls. I'm like, look, schedule some time with me on my calendar. I can't talk to y'all like that all at once. It's funny, but I love it.
I love you all, but I got other things to do. Okay, so we had some technical difficulties, but we're back because, God knew we had to finish this conversation.
He did. He interfered. He wanted to say something. So he snapped me out.
Like, hello. Gosh, we've only got a few minutes left. So there's a couple points that I really want to hit.
Okay.
One thing we had talked about when we were preparing for this about pride. And can pride interfere with your faith, or does it make it stronger because you're proud of it? How does that work?
I think pride interferes in a way that you put yourself as superior, right? That you can do it yourself. And I don't believe that's true. I believe we can do things to a certain extent, but we can't do all things for ourselves. So pride really, some people can be too prideful. And I'm not going to sit here like I'm perfect, because I'm not. I've had my moments where, oh, I'm good, I don't need to do anything extra. But then I get knocked around and it's like, excuse me? And it's like, you're right, Lord, you're right. My apologies. I can't do this by myself. You get reminded really quickly that you can't do everything by yourself.
Definitely not. And we've been talking, and it's obviously that faith gives you so much peace and joy in your life that you want to share it and shout it to the world. Like, hey, my faith and my God is what saved me. Yeah. Yes. The my surgeon got the cancer out, used the chemo, whatever, but the faith is what really got you through.
It is, and one thing that me and my oncologist we had a great understanding of knowing that. And I always shared with him, he tells me my treatment, we discuss it, but it was never something that we rushed into, right? I always told him, I have to go home and pray on it. I have to go home and meditate before we even start this. And he always would tell me, Catrina, I'm not God. And I said, I'm so glad that you know that, because you're not.
Okay. Many doctors have a God complex, and they're good at what they do, but
yes,
it is you have that power in you. Absolutely. From God, and knowing that He is by your side. So what is your hope, and where do you want to take this for the rest of your career, your life? Where is this, the cancer journey is going to take you?
Yeah. So I'm looking to take this far as that I can, right? I want to reach far and wide, near and far. I want to go far as God allows me to go. And that could be anywhere from staying local, or that could be anywhere traveling the world to share my story, which is a big hope for me, because I want to do that. I want to travel the world and share my story, because not all in one story is the same. And I feel that each story is motivational to one another.
I love that. It is so important, because you have a story and you have what is needed for so many people. So anybody out there who wants Catrina, our fighter in faith, please reach out to her. But listeners, if you are looking for Catrina, I misspoke earlier. On Twitter, she's fighter in faith. On Instagram, Catrina_fighter with faith, and Facebook, Catrina Marcell. And Catrina, thank you so much for this conversation today. It has been my pleasure to learn more about faith and how it got you through, because it's just so important. And I definitely appreciate that. So again, listeners, thank you so much for staying with us today and learning about our journey. If you need our services, please visit breastfriends.org. You can make a donation on our website or by texting BF Radio to ensure that Breast Friends continues on its mission to ensure that no one goes through cancer alone. You can find our show on many platforms, the Voice America Health and Wellness channel, or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also watch the videos on the Breast Friends YouTube channel. And if you're doing that, please make sure to subscribe. I would appreciate that so much. If you would like to nominate yourself to be my guest or share your warrior story, please email me at michellebeck. Michelle Beck at breastfriends.org. I had a brain fade moment there. And I want to do a quick thank you to my listener, Lori, who reminded me today that we need to check our audio volumes and to make sure that everybody has heard the same. So thanks for that. But we will be back next week. And until then, remember, we rise by lifting each other.